two, three.
Welcome to the Smartest Amazon Seller Podcast. Your host, Scott Needham. I've been selling on Amazon for almost a decade, seen millions of sales, some of them successful, some of them less successful. And the goal of this podcast is to help you have some actionable advice that tomorrow you can operate your business better. It's not that often that I learn about something really new. And when I do, my first instinct is always like, I've got to get you on the podcast. Well, I've run into Klaidas a few times and we've had some really interesting conversations. He's today's guest. He is actually based out of Europe, but has some strategies for the US marketplace I have never heard from anyone. I've always tried to tease out what is like about these deals, 7-day deals, lightning deals. I've always tried to tease out what's the best way to use them. And I get a lot of fluff answers, I'll be honest. I've heard some things I'm like, that sounds like all right. But I think Klaidas just after like one conversation is like, this is it. So by the end of this podcast, you will know all the different types of deals, which ones, what your product might be best for. So you can turn on and do one and grow your business. Klaidas, welcome.
Hi, Scott. Nice to be here.
So Klaidas leads an agency called AMZ, and he got my attention first because of his business card. So really funny. This is almost a year ago. I connected with him, and he gave me a business card that was like full metal. I'm talking like this is like this business card feels like a pound heavy, and it works. I kept it on the desk. I was like, this just feels too nice to just like put away. So that's one way of getting attention, but it sounds like some ways of getting attention on Amazon as well. So we identified 4 different types of deals. What are these deals?
The main 4 deals we're going to be talking about in this podcast are the lightning deals, the 70 deals, prime exclusive discounts or prime exclusive deals, and I would say not most importantly, but the most interesting and most rewarding deals, which are the deals of the day, or now what they're called top deals.
Okay, yeah. So those are kind of the same thing. If we say deal of the day or top deal, basically it's the same thing.
Yes.
Okay, let's actually start from from a beginner's perspective. What's the first one that they would do? And, it works for like a small growing business, maybe a newly launched product. And I believe that might be just like the 7-day deals. Is that right?
Right. So actually, when we have a beginner product, so to say, and a beginner product could be defined, for example, either by revenue or by market share of, your own niche. So as an example, usually we would start considering running deals if our product is doing at least $30,000 a month.
Okay.
If your particular niche, right, if your niche possibility and the maximum you could do in your niche is $30,000, obviously, you have to think about deals a bit earlier. So if I would say, you have around 50% or 60% of the niche you're targeting, that's when deals can come into play. In some cases, if you have very competitive competitors that really know what they're doing, that constantly run different types of deals, then you're put into a place where you just must use, similar types of deals that they are. If you're a beginner, 70 deals and prime exclusive discounts. If you're a beginner product, I would say, not a beginner seller, but if you have a beginner product,
newly launched, let's say within the first year.
Newly launched. Yeah. So if newly launched product, most likely prime exclusive discounts, normal coupons, or 70 deals might work just as well.
How do you do the I've never actually seen the prime exclusive discount, and maybe I just haven't paid attention, but where do you get access to these deals?
So with the private exclusive discount and the deals page, you just go under in the Seller Central interface. Basically, you just go to the advertising kind of section, and under that you will see either deals and you will see prime exclusive discounts. So prime exclusive discounts, we use that actually instead of coupons, but it gives the sense of exclusivity. Just in general, it has the blue badge for that's only visible for prime members. But the prime exclusive discount on standard non T5 or non-prime days, it doesn't do any magic. It doesn't bring any extravagant attention to your product, it's similar as a coupon. You just don't have to pay for it. As with standard coupons, you pay either 60 cents or 30 cents, depending, on which types of
This is
programs
crazy.
with Amazon you have.
I've actually talked highly about coupons. And so you say that Prime exclusive deals act in a very similar way, but they don't
Yeah.
charge on a per usage basis.
Yeah, exactly.
And are there any minimum?
It's 20%.
Okay.
So for example, right? So with the, I think, wait, now I'm trying to reconcile. I think it's lower for non-prime days. Right now, everything's kind of caught up in the T5 in the fall prime days. But I think the minimum is lower. But maybe it could be 10%, because I know normal standard coupons it's 5%. So if you're ready to do bigger coupons, might as well just do a prime exclusive discount and see what how it works for your product. Because if we're launching a standard coupon on a new product, and usually you want to have something flashy there. If it's just a normal coupon and it's anything below 10%, we see no difference. Like, it's practically as if you just don't have a coupon. You just spend the money for the coupons and you just spend the money for the discount. We barely see any difference.
Really, I feel like I've seen a boost even with minimum value coupons, at least with like stale products, like ads,
maybe
something.
Where we have a case for a niche product that pricing is very well defined, I would say that's usually the case. In a lot of cases where we don't have very defined pricing for the niche, where we could have a more premium product, or we could have a more unique product that doesn't necessarily have its own private label appeal, right? Private label as in, you would have 10 different competitors to choose from, and they sell almost the same product but slightly different.
Yeah.
Then customers obviously calculate the price. But when we're launching a product, we see a more marginal difference. For example, the coupon is like 20%. 25,
okay.
30%. Like, then we see something that we can more substantially measure and see the impact of. But nonetheless, right, the coupons, the Prime exclusive discounts, these are the the things that you would do as a new product, or you would try to incorporate in some of your strategy. For the products that we are continuously using, top deals, lightning deals, that we participate in T5 and Prime days, we actually don't use any coupons, and we don't use any Prime exclusive discounts on a standard basis. So this is very important, because when you're in the deals game, the most important thing is your price and the time that passes between the deals. And Amazon is punishing us in a way. They are increasing the minimum deal amounts that we have to do if we do deals too often, or if our average purchase price is dragged down. So for when you're kind of going all into those deals, you have to remember that Amazon is constantly monitoring the actual purchase price, the average purchase price that your customers are paying and buying your product for, and they're looking at the minimum deal price as well in some instances. So for example, if you want to do a top deal, last 2 months, you practically can't run any other deals. So that's a sacrifice that sometimes needs to be done. But anyway, so we're kind of moving more into the more advanced. I think we can talk about 70 deals before that, right?
Well, let's just say, like, what is a 7-day deal?
Right. So a 7-day deal is basically just a limited time deal that lasts for a week. You don't have a set amount of units allocated for that deal. It's for all of your inventory, and depends, people can purchase everything, or they can buy as much as is their demand for. The 7-day deals, the main key for the deals and the main purpose for those deals is increase in organic ranking. Like, that's in organic ranking, in advertising ranking. This is the main goal of the 7-day deal. Your 7-day deal, in most cases, will not bring you extra traffic outside of your niche, right? So your 7-day deal mainly operates within your niche, within your keywords, within your current discoverability of your product detail page. So that means that you increase your conversion on your standard customers, on your standard visitors for your product detail page. You're not really bringing anything from outside, unless obviously you're running Google ads or anything like that additionally. But if we're talking strictly Amazon, with 70 deals, you're not really bringing any additional traffic.
That's a really key point of, like, deals. It either brings in traffic or it doesn't, and if it doesn't, then it feels like a conversion boost.
Exactly.
And that
exactly. And that's
it.
And that's fine. Exactly. That's the purpose. This is the actual purpose of the 70 deal, is to increase your conversion, to increase your metrics, which would help you rank higher. And I mean, we obviously do see an increase in traffic, but that traffic is coming from our current keywords and the keywords we advertise under, and
Yeah.
that is the main key. So, for example, for products where we don't really need, better conversion on our current traffic, why the hell would we even, do a discount, right? Why would we even create better conversion for our current keywords if we literally rank, top 2, top 3, at the top of the niche or at the top of our current keywords that we have? If, right, your competitors are constantly running 70 deals, you have to do this as well. Like, because customers are looking for it, and during that period of time when your competitor is running a 70 deal, most likely your conversion will drop, your rankings will drop, and you do have to get it back. In some cases where we had those situations, for example, in selling office desks, right? We're selling office desks. We're at the top of our niche. We're doing great. We're doing, incredibly well. And our competitor is constantly running 70 deals. We don't want to cheapen our product. We don't want to do any discounts. We don't do any deals. And we do suffer during those 7 days when our competitor is running a 70 deal. We do kind of get a hit. However, our advertising strategy is a lot stronger compared to theirs. And even, after that deal, we get back on the top. They push us down a little bit, but with a strong and well-structured advertising strategy that highly prioritizes ranking, which is, the top of search placements, we get back on top. So if you are able to do that, that's fine. You don't really need to run 70 deals if you are at the top of your niche, because what's it going to do? It's just going to increase your conversion for a tiny, for those 7 days. You might get additional sales from it. You might not. I would say it's worth a try, but it's definitely not for all products and all cases.
Right. So then let's move on to a lightning deal. What is a lightning deal?
Right. So lightning deal, I think a few months ago or like maybe a year ago, it's hard to keep track now. A lightning deal was a 4-hour quick in and out deal, right? It lasted for 4 hours, random time of the day. You could get midnight to 4 a.m. You could get, peak time like from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., etc. So it's random time during a random day from a week you selected for 4 hours, and it's a limited time deal. It has limited inventory, so you do actually set the inventory yourself. Amazon does give you minimums, obviously, but usually it's like 36 units per SKU. So it is a limited time deal. Now, this deal lasts for 12 hours, usually, during the day. Sometimes we see it starts at 5 a.m., finishes at 5 p.m., but usually it's during the daytime. So Amazon kind of helps us out in there. But I don't think we ever gotten a lightning deal that's like strictly during nighttime. So it's a curious thing to actually go and check and
sounds
see,
like a
like,
nightmare if you like do this.
Yeah, it does. I mean, because in most cases you have to pay for it as well. So in the US, I believe a standard 70 deal costs $300. A standard lightning deal costs $150.
Yeah.
If you, for example, have Launchpad program, then the deals, one deal a week is free. In Europe is a lot cheaper than that. So with lightning deals, right, you do have a limited inventory, and the name of the game is traffic. And your main goal is to get more traffic that's not necessarily from your current niche. That's traffic that is not from your advertising. That's not from your organic keywords. That's not from your retargeting campaigns, right? Traffic from the general deals page. Now, lightning deals are effective, as we have tested, pretty much only in cases where you already have a sufficient amount of traffic for your main category, whether it's office supplies, whether it's toys, whether it's electronics. You should have a substantial amount of traffic already coming into your product on a daily, consistent basis. Nobody can say what amount of traffic you need. It's a matter of testing. But if, for example, you're at the top of your niche, you seem to have reached the capacity of your niche and there's not a lot of additional room to grow, it is definitely worth testing the lightning deals. Yeah.
So this is like one of the things that got me really excited about getting you on was that lightning deals, if you already have a top selling product, a well-selling product and you run a lightning deal, you're already going to have a lot of existing volume that's going to push you to the top of the deals page. And being the top of the deals page, you all of a sudden enter this like new world of like bargain shoppers, people that are deal hunting. And there's just, you know, a lot of people on the deals page. And that's why getting to the top of that page matters. And you're going to have a hard time getting there if you're running a lightning deal on a stale product. I have ran lightning deals on products that are totally stale. And this is why it didn't work.
They flopped.
This is why it was just like, you know, because I was at the end of the, you know, like I was on page 10 of like the lightning deals.
Nobody's gonna find you. I mean, you know, they say what's the best, you know, place to hide a dead body? You know, second page of Amazon or second page of Google. With deals, it may be like it's, you know, the 10th page. So even if you are in the second or the third, or sometimes even the 4th page, you could get the traffic. But getting there, because like there's like 100 pages, like there's a lot of deals happening at the same time. So our goal in most cases is to get to the first page of our main category, because people do because people do filter by categories. Like when I want to purchase something, I'm like, well, I don't really know what to buy, but I'm thinking I need to buy some gifts. So I'm gonna go to toys and games, right? I want something electronic, right? So I'm gonna go to electronics. Maybe, you know, I have a business, I have an office with 200 people there, and I'm like, well, I mean, you know, I guess I'm spending money, you know, it feels like Christmas, and I want to buy something for the office, right? You go to the office category, so you search for the office deals. So the people that go to the deals page, they usually don't necessarily know what they want. So first they have to find your product, then they actually have to click and buy your product. So that means that it's not that the criteria is not just the traffic that you currently have, which helps you get to the first or the second page of the deals page, which there's also an additional thing to that segment that I want to also mention. So to get to the top of the deals page, you have to play a little bit and test different quantities that you sell, so that you allocate for the deal, because the rate of how fast your units get sold during the deal, that's what actually determines your placement in the deals page. So what we do, we usually kind of try to do the double or triple the amount of daily sales that we put into the deal, to kind of, the goal every time is to almost sell out. It's just have like, you know, 5% left after the deal, like 10% left after the deal. Like that's the ideal scenario. Obviously, in some cases we have 50% left. In some cases we just sell everything. It's a matter of testing, but that's how you should. Because once a deal starts, right, you get zero traffic from the deals page, but you already have good enough traffic from your, you know, from your product detail page and the organic rankings and the advertising that you bring in, and that traffic first converts, right? So that traffic gets the deal and starts purchasing the units that you sell, right? The units that you allocated for that deal. And what happens, the algorithm sees how fast the products are going in comparison to what's the actual stock dedicated for this deal, and that's how Amazon actually pushes your product up. Obviously, you know, if you sell 100 units a month and you dedicate 36 units, you know, for the deal, if you sell 100 units per day and you dedicate 36 units for the deal, you're not going to get any extra traffic, because the deal is going to be over before you even know. So obviously you want to have the extra units set for it to give the algorithm time to rank you on the top page. So that's kind of, you know, the formula for the getting on the first page. Then we talk about the conversion, and it determines whether your deal is successful or not. You have to have a product that random people could potentially purchase, right? So if you're selling
you want the wide audience appeal.
Exactly. If you're selling like something super specific, as I'm trying to see, as an example, well, I have a water bottle, right? Well, no, that's actually I don't have any
water bottles
products.
are great. Everyone wants.
I don't have any. I don't have any.
Let's say it's like maybe it's like gender specific and age specific. Something for like, you know, aging women.
Let's say let's say you're selling very specific jars, like super specific jars that like have different colors that are for you know, people who like to put sand in the jars and kind of work with that, like arts and crafts, like super specific, super tiny niche audience, people that just kind of are in love with that product. Or let's say macrame. That was macrame is like type of knitting, I guess, but it's like
Okay.
super specific, and you wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't buy it. Most people wouldn't buy it unless they're into that particular hobby, right? That's a product that doesn't really work on deals. You want to have, a phone case, right? For the latest iPhone or the past 2 generation iPhones. You want to have something that a general audience could purchase, even if it's specific to a gender. That's fine. But if it's specific to a gender, to 18-year-olds, to they have to have this particular hobby, and it's a hobby specific thing, it's not going to work. But if you're selling something as general as a kitchen appliance, if you're selling something as general as a toy that you might not be looking for that specific toy because you don't even know it exists, but you're looking for something interesting. So
Yeah,
you
these
have
are, I
products
mean,
that fit the
there's just a
general
lot of
audience.
parameters that you have to think through
Yeah,
as when you're designing a successful deal
yeah,
strategy.
yeah, yeah.
And, like you're saying, like something for a large audience, for a lightning deal, it needs the traffic already to get to the top page. That was, to me, that was a huge unlock. Then does the lightning deal, like, how big is the discount? Does
So with the
Amazon sets a minimum discount?
Yeah, yeah, they do. So 20%.
Okay.
Everything's 20%. So with the lightning deals, wait, now I'm thinking maybe it's 15%. Because I know for our key accounts, we've gone so far the rabbit hole with the deals that we aren't even able to get a discount lower than like 25%.
Oh yeah.
Because we're like super,
Yeah, they don't
we're
want you to
super
like
deep.
to walk back a deal. They're
Yeah,
like, oh, if you've done
yeah.
25%, we're gonna make you do that every time.
Yeah,
Well,
it's similar,
I
but basically, they do put that restriction on you, and they kind of track how
yeah.
you do.
I want to, there's a few things I still need to jump into, but we have two more
Yeah,
deals to
yeah,
hit. And so let's see if we can move through them a little bit quicker. So deals of the day, this top
yeah,
deal, what is it?
yeah. Right. So this is like the fantasy of every Amazon seller that understands how the deals work. Like this is the top, this is peak of the mountain that you could get. So the top deal, it's a deal that Amazon that happens for 24 hours, and Amazon places your product in top 3 or top 5 or top 6 placements of the deals page, of the first deals
So
page.
basically on any given day, Amazon says, like, they just cherry pick some deals and be like, this is actually the deal of the day. And
So
does
they
Amazon
say
select it?
that so they say that they just cherry pick from the current existing lightning deals. That's not the case. I mean, don't quote me on that, but it's not really the case.
Well, I mean,
You can get the deal with at least in the US. In Europe, it's a bit different, but in the
but
US, yeah,
sorry, I think we're almost saying the same thing, but like
yeah,
basically you work with an account manager or someone at
exactly,
Amazon. They select, they're like, oh, you're
yeah.
going to be the deal of the day. And so before the day's even started, it's selected who's going to be
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's
that's
selected
what I
three
meant.
months in advance. Like
Yeah.
it's selected far in advance. So, in order to get the deal of the day, there are a lot of additional requirements. One of them is you actually have to get access to the team that reviews products and accepts applications. You can't do this through seller support or brand support. You have to have a dedicated account manager. Now, this dedicated account manager, it could be Launchpad manager, it could be SaaS Core manager, it could be in Europe 360 manager, it could be in any marketplace, it could be new accounts manager. Like, but it has to be an account manager, not a PPC manager. That's a very different department.
Mhm.
So those managers, they, depending on their level, actually, because some don't even have access to those teams. So before we actually accept an account manager, we make sure that they have access to the deals team, to the daily deals team. So they first have to have access to that deal, right? And what happens is, first we talk with our account manager, we go through our best products, products that do at least 200K in the last 12 months. Like, at least that's the bare minimum. 200K last 12 months for that product variation or for that product group. It seems like they want a lot more from us, because one of their hidden criterias is that during the top deal, you have to sell a minimum of 200K in dollars per that deal. Like if you don't, nothing wrong, nothing bad happens. No one, sends you a fine if you sell under
Well, like
200K
that's
during
the
that
goal. They're
deal.
like, if
But
we don't
that's the
hit 200,
minimum.
it's like if we don't hit 200,000, we're not going to
It's a failed
reinvite
deal.
you. We're not going to invite you again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's, I mean, technically, if, like in one of our cases, we hit like 196, like something super close. So we got invited to the next deal 3 months later. But what they're saying is like, this is the bare minimum. Obviously, they do look at the additional circumstances that happen, but this is the bare minimum. So they select the products and they accept the products based on whether they believe you can hit this, whether you can convince the actual people, not the algorithm, but the actual people that make this decision that your product during the deals day will manage to sell for 200K. So one of the minimum requirements they actually list, or they say, is that you have to have at least 200K in last 12 month sales. In my experience, if you have 200K in last 12 month sales, most likely you're not going to get the deal. Like you probably have to have a lot more. We managed to get the top deal for one of our bigger brands when I think we hit like 10 million a year with a product, but
Okay.
it's just in that particular category, because like they also look at the category of your product. If it's a toy, the threshold is going to be a lot bigger. If it's electronics, going to be bigger. If it's like a more niche product but still fits the criteria of the general kind of audience, they might accept a lower sales volume. But nonetheless, right, the listing has to look really good. It has to have all the reviews, has to have the A+ content, etc.
Okay. Sorry to like, I've got a few questions I just have to get to, but there's one final thing. We talked a little bit about that, like, but a Prime exclusive discount, is that also on the deals page? And this one feels very similar to, like you said, it's like coupons, but it feels a little bit similar to like the 7-day deal, that it's just to improve your conversion rate.
Yeah. So with the so with the Prime exclusive discounts, so they actually do appear, but we see them appear on the deals page during the T5 or Prime days, basically.
Oh, okay.
So during the standard days, like it's very difficult to get Prime exclusive discount to appear on the top of the deals page. So it's incredibly difficult to get to do that. So our best goal, like if you're running lightning deal strategy, then the Prime exclusive discounts are only for Prime days and the Black Friday Cyber Monday, right? The T5. And actually lightning deals.
To be clear, the T5, I think it's like the Thanksgiving 5. It's like the 5 days after Thanksgiving, includes the huge selling days. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So with the Prime exclusive discount, and during T5 or during Prime days, no, now it's Prime, summer Prime Day, fall Prime Day, we see that lightning deals are absolutely terrible. They do incredibly bad like you still make more sales than on average, but comparingly Prime exclusive discounts for a well done product, they work a lot better. And we find that
So you're
that the main
saying
reason for
Prime
that is that
exclusive discounts work better on Prime Day?
well, Prime exclusive discounts compared to lightning deals, they work a lot better on Prime Day and on T5, because if you run a lightning deal on Prime Day or T5, you're not going to be as interesting, because these are the days when people are searching for Prime exclusive discounts. Like people, like once Amazon introduced Prime exclusive discounts, that's what people kind of were trained to do.
I think I did that. Like on my phone, like there was a button that says like, search Prime, like Prime Day deals.
Prime exclusive discount. Yeah, exactly. So like if you have just a lightning deal or a 7-day deal or just a normal discount on a product, you're gonna have a lot worse performance than if you just have a Prime exclusive discount during those days.
Now to some of the questions that I've had for about a year or two. So I have a private label business that has maybe about 100 products. Some of those products are doing, we have about 10 that do about 20,000 to 30,000 a month. And I go to the lightning deals page and there's nothing there.
It doesn't allow you to even run a deal.
Yeah, because it's like, it is kind of an invite only. And I'm like, everything I've heard says like, well, you just have to wait. Like the system decides.
No, waiting is not going to help. I mean, first of all, obviously, you have to have your A+ content. All the
Yep.
standard fields in the listing
Yep.
have to be filled.
Got it. Got it.
And do you have 4.5 stars, 4 stars?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that is kind of done, then it could be a bug in the system. I mean, obviously, if you have an account manager, it's a lot easier. You message them and they actually can hand enable you. With seller support, we actually didn't have a situation where we needed to go to seller support to enable the deal, but it's something's up in their system, and we're not surprised.
So are my answers to like try seller support?
Yeah, to try it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Seller
right,
support, buy support, like continue pushing it until they give a defined answer, like what exactly is wrong. Because if your product is selling well, if your product, like unless like you're doing some huge price manipulations, which I don't really expect you're doing, you should be enabled, because in most cases it is.
And then so 7-day deals, lightning deals, and Prime exclusive discounts are all on that deals page.
No, Prime exclusive discounts has a separate interface, but it's still under advertising.
Okay.
Right. So I do want to jump back to the top deals, and this is something interesting. Is even with top deals, there's competition, and the competition is for the golden apple, for the throne, for the best of the best, right? So when you're running a top deal, you're competing for the attention, you're competing for the eyeballs, you're competing for the clicks with other 3, other 4, other 6 different products that are from different niches. And actually, every time we ran top deal, every single time we were on the top, and we enjoyed the maximum benefits of the top deal. And the maximum benefits, if you're the best of the best, if you have the best traffic, you have the best conversion, if you have the best click-through rate during that top deal, Amazon will actually place you not just in the deals page, they will place you in the Amazon.com page, in the main page that literally every person goes to Amazon, they go to Amazon.com and they see your product just right there in the middle.
But I just have to imagine that like you're just going to stock out. How can you have enough inventory to survive?
Well, you prepare. So you know that you're gonna be enabled for the deal around 3 months in advance. You know exactly which products you're gonna do on that deal, and I think it's around a month or so when we get a more specific date, because like we get a ballpark figure in a lot of cases, and sometimes it can be pushed down for a week or so. So you have 3 months to prepare, and usually you do. What we've seen, it's about 10x, like your daily sales 10x. So as an example, in Q1, I think by the end of Q1 we ran a top deal, and we were on the top of the page. During that day, we got around 1 million sessions for that product. So 1 million unique people came into that product and checked us out. And we did about, I think it was 400K or 450K, something like that. On our average standard day, it's 40K per day for that product. So it's 10x. Then we ran a second top deal. I think it was in the middle of the summer. And for our product, it's kind of a slow season. But what was really interesting is that we only did 200K on that day. So we did 250K or something like that. But I think it was around 200, maybe a bit
just
below,
enough,
right? Well, yeah, it was kind of just enough. But the interesting thing, we were still the #1 top deal. Everyone else did worse than us in terms of traffic and click-through rate and conversions, which was very interesting that during the summer season, even the deals page and just the overall shoppability has a lower traffic rate, because our product, like people can buy our product at any time, but summer overall is just a slower season. It's not anti-summer product, it's just a slower season. And we did half as well. I think we got around 700K sessions or 600K, something like that. So, but the interesting thing was that during that month, our average daily sales was around 26,000 that day. So it's kind of, you get that immense traffic, but it's still kind of relative to your current sales. And it just so happens that Amazon picks the products, it's 10x.
Okay. So one of the last questions is like, talk to me about the halo effect
Hmm.
of these deals. You're probably not making a lot of margin on those, but like, let's say you're selling 20 units a day before and it
Hmm.
goes well. Will you continue to sell 20 units a day after?
Yeah. So in a lot of our case, like why we incorporate deals into high level accounts almost every single time is because they do have that halo effect. And even if it doesn't necessarily contribute directly to the ranking, when you're doing $1 million a month for that one product, just on average on Amazon without any deals, what you're focusing is a lot top of the funnel stuff, right? So with DSP, you do a lot of retargeting, but you also do a lot of top of the funnel. Lightning deals and obviously top deals, they bring you the top of the funnel traffic that later on we retarget. We retarget either with display campaigns in the Seller Central advertising console, or we retarget with DSP. And it gives us a good pool of people who are interested in our product, but for some reason they just didn't purchase. With the margin, and that's an interesting thing. So obviously, if you're running at a 6% tacos and you just have that one product, you're advertising you're doing a deal for your whole variation, obviously your margin is going to drop, right? Because you're doing a discount and your margin is going to drop either way. If, for example, your ACOS is 30%, or your tacos is not tacos, ACOS is 30%. You're going to have, the traffic from the deals that you give the 30% discount, but they're not clicking on the ads. So yes, your advertising traffic and your advertising kind of spend is going to be a little bit higher, but we don't see incremental kind of growth in the ad spend because the traffic that's coming to us from the deals page and from the top deals is the
Yeah,
organic, so to say, traffic. So we're not paying for the advertising.
you're saying that this is basically like an advertising spend,
Exactly.
and so the
And
margin, yeah,
in our kind of top case in the account, that the deal structure, proper deal structure and strategy helped us grew to 20 million a year. In the last 12 months, we did around $24 million for that one product in the .com Amazon. So for that particular product, last year we were operating at around average, I think was like 39% net margin. This year we're doing about, like, I think it's 37-ish, something like that. But with the deals, what's interesting is that since we have complementary, like supplemental products, like products that you can buy in the same variation, for example, two units, 4 units, 6 units, not necessarily just the 1 unit we do a deal for. People actually buy the boxes and the bundles because it can be giftable products, and just in general it works well. So we get additional sales that are not through the deals
yeah,
page, but we
no,
still capture that traffic, and we do additional product sales, and kind of our profitability, not all cases, but in some cases actually increases during the deal. But it's not
yeah, no.
not in every single case,
That's when you're
obviously.
like employing all these strategies. A good
Yeah.
variation page means like traffic to the page.
Yeah.
You have a good chance of converting one of those ASINs. Well, this
Yeah.
is this has been an awesome conversation. It's so good that like I'm like, you could do an awesome blog post on this that like just
I
lays it all
probably
out.
should. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I was writing the notes for this as you as
Yeah.
you were talking, because like I'm intrigued. We've got opportunities, but yeah. Well, so Klaidas, 2 questions.
Yeah.
One, I like to ask people what is their the most important tool that they use in their business. It doesn't have to be in any Amazon tool, but
Yeah.
I'm a tools guy. I built Smart Scout, and so
Yeah.
I'm just curious what's out there. What's most important for you guys?
So I think so the tool that we use on literally every single account, and that our account executives and even myself, we check daily several times a day, is Seller Board.
Okay.
Because we, as a full service agency, we don't only look just at like advertising data specifically doesn't really matter to us, because our clients don't care about the advertising ACOS, they don't care about the advertising spend. All they care about is revenue and profitability, and the
Yep.
profitability we get from Seller Board. And this is how we base our strategy. This is how we decide the advertising budgets. This is how we decide which product to push. So I would say Seller Board is the most often used and the most important tool that it would be a lot more difficult to work if we didn't have.
Okay. Then the final question, if people want to reach out to you, follow you, learn more, you have your agency AMZBs, where are you available?
Yeah. So I think the best kind of place to connect and to follow the content I post is on LinkedIn. Just search my name, Klaidas UPS, or AMZBs Klaidas, and you'll find me. So connecting on LinkedIn, you can follow me. I post every single week. I think I post interesting things, and I think I post some valuable information. But
If
that's
what you
obviously for
post
people
is
to
only
decide.
half as interesting as some of the insights that you have in a good, solid, like 360 deal strategy that you just gave us right here, I'm
I mean, I
sure.
would hope so. I would hope so. Yeah. So
Yeah.
connect with me on LinkedIn, and
I
if
love
you
this. This is really good. This was very thorough.
appreciate it.
I'm super intrigued by some of these like top end levers that people can do when you get really competitive around the deals,
Yeah.
and that's just like a regular part. So
Once you reach a certain stage in Amazon as a seller or as a brand overall,
yeah,
you have to utilize literally everything that's available for you. And in some cases, it might even, mean, paying for SaaS Core, paying for, well, now Launchpad is free, and utilizing the winter placements, the gift books that Amazon is sending out to people. Like there's a lot of things that you don't get standard access to, but once you have someone in Amazon working with you, then you kind of bring this to your
I love it.
attention. But
I love it. Okay.
yeah,
Well, we'll end there. I will mark this as like the deals podcast episode. And actually tomorrow, this will already be live, but tomorrow is
yeah.
the Prime Day. Is this like a fairly open Prime Day for everyone? Or is this, it almost looks like it's like Amazon pushing their own stuff.
Well, I mean, it is open to us and we are participating in it. We
Okay.
are doing I would say quite heavy Prime exclusive discounts on almost all of our accounts, but we are absolutely not happy with Amazon for launching this deal. We don't like Amazon for doing this. It is impacting our clients' businesses in a negative way, especially the Christmas business, the Q4 businesses, because we are seeing
Yeah, because
we're seeing a delay in Q4 sales, and it's terrifying for a lot of our partners, because you used to see this growth from September 15, September 16, where almost every single day the increase in traffic, the increase in conversions would happen. And now what we're seeing is that it's not necessarily a stalemate, it's not necessarily a plateau, but we're seeing that additional conversions are really delayed because Amazon is just advertising and pushing their fall Prime Day. So what we are thinking is going to happen after this Prime Day, the people who didn't yet purchase for the Christmas stuff in Prime Day, they're going to start purchasing and start thinking about it.
Well,
but it's definitely a huge delay that kind of interrupts all of the standard kind of processes that the brands we work with do.
You should post on Thursday or Friday how your thoughts on the second Prime Day. I'll check that out. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Klaidas, for coming on. That wraps up today's podcast. Everyone, check Klaidas out on LinkedIn, AMZBs, and thank you, Klaidas, for coming.
Thanks for having me. Have a good day.
All right. Stay tuned, everyone, for next week as we continue discovering, how to make you a better seller. Take care.
1, 2, 3.